And good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Proficiency Bonus for another Monday night here as we continue with our new campaign, We Met in a Tavern. Now, let me go ahead and jump over to our cast right now. We got everyone back up on the screen here. As you can see, we finally got our little scrolling stat things above my head. Now that we've got that going. You'll also notice that our window for Artemis has been closed off today. So unfortunately, Para is unable to make it. So Para, we hope you're feeling better soon. And we will do what we can to not get Artemis killed. So before... Okay, well, apparently the DM's the... I can't say merciful because somebody else uses that line, but we'll say benevolent one compared to the party. Before we jump into last time, a couple of quick shout-outs. Big thanks to Team MZ, Many-Sided Dice, Streamlabs, OBS, and our newest partners over at Little Dragon Corp. If you're in Twitch chat, ! Little Dragon, we'll bring you over to their, give you a little blurb on their site. They've got a lot of great dice. They just completely destroyed an Elemental Dice Kickstarter that can't wait for those to start being available in the store. For those of you who missed out the Kickstarter, there's a lot of great colors and a lot of fun stuff in there. You can also find little things like little light up dice display cases that look like dragon's claws holding on to things. It's a lot of fun stuff for your RPG and tabletop needs. One other quick thing to throw out there before we started is one of our players is asked to give a quick shout out and notice due to the fires that have been going on, for those of you who are in the U.S., you've probably been hearing about it in the news. There are just wildfires running rampant in California, which is causing the air in California to become very toxic. It can cause a lot of problems, both short and long term, for people. One of our players, actually Linen, is asking for donations to help purchase face masks and air purifiers and other emergency aid supplies for the collective home in Oakland, California. These donations will be going to providing collective housing consisting of transgendered, indigenous, I never know the proper verbiage, so Lynn, feel free to jump in and correct me if I'm wrong. Indigenous peoples, Navajo, Native American, and disabled persons with health and wellness materials necessary to survive. Any excess funds that Lynn manages to collect would be donated into charity of... my scrawl is horrible. Disability Justice Culture Club, who provide things like batteries, masks, windows and door ceilings to disabled persons in the Bay Area. Sorry, for those outside of the U.S., San Francisco Bay Area. So those things, I'm going to toss something into the Twitch chat real quick, so you can send any donations if you're able to via Venmo over to Linen, so Linen can take care of that. And I have tossed Linen's Venmo, at least I'm attempting to. Twitch doesn't like me. There we go. So you can see in the Twitch chat, Linen's Venmo is in there. So if you have a couple of dollars and you're able to help out, it's going to a good cause, and people can definitely use it. So thank you very much, Linen, for bringing that to our attention and letting us get that out to our viewers out at home. So with that, we will jump headfirst into last time. For any of you who were not able to make it to our kickoff stream, our group had basically been spending, well, I don't want to say spending a little time, as some of them were just coming to shore, others had just found their way wandering into town, or being somewhat suspiciously followed by some heavily hooded individuals. But eventually all found themselves, for one reason or another, at the Flying Pelican. Captain, and let me pull up my notes here, Captain Brazelin the Siren had called out for all comers, as her and her crew are looking to take on a grand adventure. there are islands. The captain claims there are islands that are popping up where there ought not to be islands. The captain shared a map with our newly enlisted crew members, as well as one of her previous crew members, Lydia, who was already serving on the ship, as the party seemed genuinely interested and had offered their various services to the captain in lieu of paying for the journey along. Captain split the map in half, gave half to her trusted crew member Lydia, and took the other half with her. As Lydia and Furia went off to catch Furia a fish, the rest of the group that was still sort of sitting at the table enjoying their beverages noticed that basically half the bar followed out after them, one right after another. They ran into a small group of elven individuals that didn't seem to pose much of a threat to them. And then, after having a brief conversation and managing to calm a small child who witnessed the whole shindig, proceeded to think, hey, wait, if they come after us, maybe they're going after Captain too. Made their way to the boat and ran into a group of goblins and a hobgoblin. They managed to once more win the day pretty handily, as the hobgoblin decided it wasn't worth dying over. He got sent over here by his captain. Sweet William, who had made his way onto the deck of the ship, alerted the captain. Captain came out and made a sideways comment about why isn't he dead yet, to which Bitter Jack and I think Sweet William fired one off as well, just destroyed the hobgoblin. And that is where we left off last time, as our newly collected group is standing down, one Sweet William standing up on the deck, and the rest of them standing on the dock next to the gangplank. And so the story is yours, players. Sweet William, you notice is after Captain Brazilian gives a good 5 to 7 second stare down at your sister. Just a little, and then turns and walks back into her cabin and closes the door. At this point, it's probably shortly after, a little after lunchtime, probably 2:30, 3 o'clock-ish. Captain's probably had a couple. Yep. Oh, bloody stupid DM. Well, proficiency bonus where the DM screws up yet again. Now our players can hear everything.
It was the accent warm-up minute. It is fine.
DM's just going to shove something in his mouth and pretend none of that happened.
Tis okay.
So I guess
Furia is just holding this pouch coin of... I can't talk tonight, guys. Pouch of coins, and she'll just hand it over to Bitter Jack. Not really looking over at her, just sort of give it to her.
Why are you giving it to her?
I will add it to the others.
Oh, fair enough. Should we, Did you obliterate the, hobgoblin then?
I don't know how much is it that guy's head is left.
Yeah.
Can't be much, right?
Not a whole lot at all. As you walk over and look, you can see that the entire lower half of this hobgoblin's jaw is just gone, as well as a good chunk of the upper left-hand side of his skull is just completely caved in.
Oi! That's pretty
He has
impressive there.
expired, as you say.
That's pretty impressive. What do you call those things? Those pointy in the air things that you
do? They are... the sisters.
I understand what you're saying, lass, but I don't understand the mechanics still. What are they?
You point them at who you do not like, and they cease to be a problem. That is how they work.
A little more advanced than that, but a little more less cryptic than the sisters. Cause I understand you point them at people and that they die, but you know, what are they made of?
She just like looks at William up on the deck.
Like,
Are you
we've never
being a
seen
bad
these before.
influence again?
DM, we've never seen these before, right?
You've probably seen...
Oh.
You've seen, I would say, probably less... I don't want to say fancy.
Oh, okay.
You've seen sort of rudimentary pistols before.
Oh, okay.
But when you've seen them, it's always been, cocked back, not as much noise, and there's always a small metal projectile. You tend to see think of it like an arrow without a head, you get a little hole in a person, and that's it.
Yeah.
These things seem to pack
Quite
a little bit more of a punch as opposed to a pinprick.
Okay. Well, there might be
She's also
impressive
not
there.
been. You might notice she's also not been loading ammunition into them
Right.
discernibly.
Well, they're quite impressive there, lass. I hope to keep on your good side of the sisters.
Yes, it is advisable.
Does anybody want this? And Furia's holding up the longbow.
I don't think I can use one
If
of these.
not, I'm going to take it because this is better than what I got. And
Oh,
she
go
points
for
to
it.
the short bow on her back.
Go for it. I don't think any of us have a use for it.
Great! I'll start gathering up whatever arrows I can find.
I already have a crossbow, so I have no need for it, but you can feel free to take it.
Alright.
So I can't remember, did we roll for your for the arrows in that thing last time?
Yeah, I got 12 of them.
Okay.
Or
Yeah, that's right, because I rolled and it
a
was...
goblin had 12, yeah.
Yeah, I rolled and got a 1 and he had fired once, so you would have had no arrows. So we were able to remember that now.
Who brings 2 arrows to a fight anyway?
Apparently an ill-prepared hobgoblin. Okay. So, After a few moments, William, are you staying up on the deck of the ship? You coming back down?
I will come down and join the rest of my group.
So as you start to head back down, you see a somewhat scrawny, long-haired human male. Sort of long, blonde hair in the middle. Seems to be coming out, mopping a bucket, and just starts cleaning the deck.
Is he beautiful?
He might.
I'll take
be
that as a
around. He
no.
might. Well,
How many of those shots did you take?
I think he
They
gave.
might have worn off by now.
Yeah, a little bit of a
Like
exertion.
15 minutes. They're just kicking in, buddy.
You had
it's-
like 3, 4 of them?
Getting more beautiful by the moment.
I think he's a
Yeah, so let me see here. Why do I have you guys on a random battle map of all places? That
Because
is
we were on a
completely-
random battle last time.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. I jumped you guys over there because of the thing. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna jump back over here to our ginormous map, and I'll shift ping over to you once I can find it myself.
We have to unshadow this
Oh, there
whole
we go.
map, guys.
Oh dear.
And
true.
who you are looking at, if where the hell are you? Oh, I didn't give you a character sheet. That's right. Okay, who you are looking at is
Yeah.
your cabin
Oh!
boy. Your cabin boy, Fabio.
Bravo, Matthew, bravo.
Nicely played.
I do not
William
know why, but the-
will look over and think that he just looks too old for him. It's fine.
Looks over.
I
There's
have seen
a little bit of scruff on the face. You know, it's like you think if it was like 15, 20 years ago, he would have been drop dead gorgeous. But at this point, he's just a little past his prime.
I have
Yeah,
seen-
he looks a little bit like a raisin now from like sailing or swabbing decks.
I have this very strange feeling that we have to bring him with us everywhere we go and make him carry all of our stuff. I don't know why this is.
He's mighty useful for carrying stuff. He's done it a lot. He holds a bunch of stuff on the ship. He sleeps in the cargo bay.
So,
Maybe we could find some use for him then.
Well, let us find what else is on this rock. We have 2 more days left to kill.
Are we going to clean up the bodies last time?
Sure.
I think he is that taken care of.
Yeah. Did we push the hobgoblin to the water? Yeah.
I think he was the only one that we did not.
yeah, I don't think anyone had made it all the way down because it's literally that's where we ended last time.
Okay.
So one would
Let's start
assume
like
that somebody's following along with the moves that they've been running with so far.
I'll start moving down.
He looks like he has a very nice armor.
Doesn't
I mean, I
really-
already have some, but if somebody else wants to take it, and there's this sword, and I'll just kick it a foot or so.
Do you want the sword, Furia?
Oh no, it's way too big. I got these two now.
Does anyone else use the sword? I suppose
I
I
do,
could use
but-
the sword. Oh, you need the sword.
I
Sven.
don't need another one though. So if you are interested in it,
Okay, is it just a long sword?
Just a regular old longsword. And again,
Oh, sword.
as Fury mentioned, he is wearing chainmail armor as well.
Let me see if I wear chainmail. Do I wear chainmail? Things I should know about my character after session 1. I wear scale mail.
It's been one session, and you DM another game, you play in another game, you play in a game that's not on the stream.
I play a little.
Oh, and while Lydia's taking a look at that, a quick shout out I forgot to mention at the beginning. don't forget, this Friday is the first Friday of November, so the new Shadowrun stream is starting. So make sure you check that out this weekend, too.
Make sure you're there. Oh, I don't need the mail, but maybe we can sell it.
Artemis looks around the group a little bit. I suppose it's whatever you want. I need to try to catch a fish for this little lady here.
I look down over at them and it's like, excuse me.
I will take the armor off the hobgoblin. Actually, the hobgoblin would probably sink faster if we leave the armor on him. But we should probably sell it. Does anyone care if we sell this armor or if we let him sink with it?
I'm already going to sell my short bow. And, Art, thanks for the offer of the fish. I'm sorry. I still would like a fish.
I still don't know what you're gonna do with it. Like, throw it back or something, not keep it as a pet. But, I will take the chainmail off the fellow, and then I'll sort of shove the body away.
Okay. So you're taking the chainmail off?
Yep.
Okay. So, easy enough. Takes you about a minute and a half, 2 minutes to actually get the, get it all done.
Mm-hmm.
But manage to get it off. You roll the body in, and again, much the same as what happened before. Just sort of floats on top. As you do notice the waves coming in, though, where at this point you are out at the end of a wooden dock, so the body's sort of being pushed underneath the wood. So it's a little bit more well hidden than the ones that were right on the side of the stone where it was just sort of being beaten against the wall.
Should have weighted his pockets with stones. Alright, is there a market on this island?
Easy enough to find, yeah.
Okay.
Are you like setting off to go sell your stuff?
Maybe. Do you want to come with me?
Well, if you were, Jack would she'd grab you. She'd point and she'd say, "Do not sell it to respectable stall."
I don't think there are any respectable stores on this island. Plus,
Is taken from. She points to the bobbing corpse.
not my
Careful
first rodeo.
who you sell it to.
Gotcha. But it's not my first rodeo either. Maybe we'll just hide. Fabio, can you come get this armor and we'll put it in the cabin right now and we'll sell it later at a different port.
All of a sudden, the head pops up over. Hi, Marm. Hold on, I'm coming down.
Thanks,
Makes his way
Fabio.
down.
You do carry stuff so well.
His face is more beautiful than his speaking.
Yes, he's very old.
He is perhaps nice
Disappeared.
to gaze upon, but he don't talk so much.
No, he doesn't talk much either. So that's good, actually.
Takes it, throws it over his shoulder, and starts heading back up.
Thanks, Fabio.
After a couple of seconds, you just hear loud as the door slams.
Let's see. So I have a long sword.
There is Art walks over and starts going through some of the stuff on the side. Pulls out, looks to be just like somebody left a fishing pole laying there. Just goes, sits at the end of the dock, feet hanging over. Throws a fishing pole in, and looks like Art's just going to hang out and fish for a little bit, trying to catch a fish for Furia.
Alright. I got. Oh, that was better armor than what I had. Oi, Fabio!
You don't hear
I'll
anything.
go
You think
Oh,
he's already downstairs.
I'll go sit beside Art.
I'll go get it myself then later. No worries though, no worries. Fabio's got it stored away. Crap.
This garbage, you take it. Oh shit, I want to
I forgot that I have the strength to wear it. To actually wear heavy armor now.
Okay, so we've got Art sitting down trying to catch some fish. Fury, you said you're going to hang out with Art?
Yeah.
Okay, what are the rest of you doing?
Jack's gonna go check out the ship. Let's just take in the scope of it. She's particularly interested in the crow's nest. That's sort of her. That's her jam.
Okay.
It's Jack's domain, crow's nesting.
I
Alrighty
can
then.
sort of show you around the ship. I'll show you the quarters, I'll show you the mess, I'll show you the cargo room where maybe we can find Fabio. Can you climb up the crow's nest pretty nimbly then?
Oui, crow's nest is best for me.
Ah. I believe we do have a fellow up there that keeps watch, but I'm sure he wouldn't mind a second pair of eyes.
Alrighty then. So, that means we are going to hop over to a different map.
Yay!
Apparently not. Come on, people. Don't want to tell you.
Yay!
Okay, now, this should, I think, have global lighting, so you guys should be able to see.
I don't know where we are.
Nope.
Well, it's black. I'm blind.
Okay, so what we are going to do then is... Now, keep in mind this is out in the middle of nowhere, so we are just throwing... Actually, I'm not going to bother with tokens, because we are still waiting for our beloved artist who is doing up some custom artwork for us. So what we will do is we will just turn off dynamic lighting.
Nice.
So now you guys should have visibility.
No.
Still nothing? What in the Gorams of heck?
The ship has been painted all black, then yes, I have visibility.
Wait, are you still... Let me try... Where is
It's a
my...
new look for the ship. We decided it would be better at night to go raid places if the ship was all black.
Okay, you know what? Hell with it. Okay. No, don't turn on Fog of War. Okay, do you have visibility now? Oh, wait, no, because I don't have tokens set up, so I haven't. Okay, you know. Really roll to... Oh! That might be why. Let me try this again, not on the map layer. Because your DM is having a genius night tonight, folks.
It happens.
Okay. Okay,
Well.
player one has sight. Okay. Now you should be able to see something, Matt, over here.
No.
I see a little icon.
I still see
You
black.
see an icon?
I see like a little man icon.
Okay, yeah, because they don't have... Okay. Furious should have a little icon now. Why is
I
this...
see myself and that's it. Yeah.
Why? Okay, we're going to do this as soon as I get everybody on here.
Oh, I see me.
Okay.
Ah, there we go.
Now, why in Goram's name?
Let's roll 20.
Okay, dynamic lighting, global illumination. Okay, how about now?
Ah,
Hey!
Oh, yay!
It's a boat!
It is a boat.
Alrighty then. Now that that's finally functional, don't know why Roll20 was being a goober, but so we're gonna go. Okay, so give me a second. So you guys boarded from. I'm just gonna throw. Over here. You guys boarded from over here.
Okay.
So, Lennon, William, when you were on the I gotta get Captain off the map layer. When you were on the deck and Captain went into her quarters, that was over here. You have another little room entrance underneath this raised deck, and then something leading downstairs to what Lydia advises is the cargo hold.
Nice. I'll be checking out the rest of the ship then.
You'll love it here. It's like a second home to. It's like a first home to me. Because
Oh. Is that right? Is your first home? Where
Well,
do you come from?
I do come from a small fishing village, but I've been on this ship for a good. I don't know. 2 years now? One?
Wow.
Yeah. How long have I been on the ship?
That is very impressive.
5? I'm just gonna keep naming the numbers.
It's funny you say that.
100 years.
5.
That's what my little tiny D6 decided. So
Yeah, I've been on this ship for about 5 years, helping the captain out.
Ah, yes, yes. I understand.
Orders and.
So, tell me about the fishing village you are from. Tell me about your family.
Well, I'm an orphan. I'm. Different. But I grew up in a human fishing village, and they were all nice there. Or just being like their own. But I'm kind of curious to where I came from, so I set out and kind of took passage on this ship that was coming into port. And Captain Breslin took me on, and we've been pretty good ever since. Pretty close.
Ah, yeah. The great adventure.
What about yourself and your sister? Where do you hail from?
We come from the south coast, from a halfling village outside of, in the north. It's only halfling there, and I did not learn common until I myself started living on a ship.
Cool. That's always something to be proud of.
Yes. When I was a boy, about 17 years old, I took a job shipping cargo, but then it did not end so well. I was picked up by pirates.
Boy,
And
that's nothing to sneeze about.
no, it is not. It's very smelly, too.
I would imagine.
So, I've been living that life for some time now. And recently, my sister and I were thrown from our ship. And I'm looking to get back because, well, between you and me, the woman I love is the captain of that ship.
Now that's a story.
Yes.
That's a good story.
Captain
Jack
Thomason
walks past
Aldies.
You guys, as this conversation is going past, and she's rolling her eyes so hard you can't even believe it. As he's like telling the story, but she continues on her way.
Oh, you should see her. She's so beautiful.
I'll keep an ear out for her in case I hear her name.
Don't ask him any questions about her. You will never hear the end of it. There is only 2 days. I am doing a German accent now. I've decided. It is now.
We're both just.
I am now
switching back and forth.
Frau Jacques. This is what we're doing for the rest of the campaign. Because apparently I can't do the French accent. I don't know what to tell you.
I can't do German. I can't do any accent.
it's right with my German accent Friday night.
Yeah. We're all learning.
It is only 2 days until we depart from here. Do not get him started. You never hear the end of it.
So yes, she is beautiful. She has hair like silver and eyes the color of an ocean in storm. And her voice, and he just kind of goes on and on and on like this, like just keeps going.
Punctuated by the dull thud of Jack just like banging her head into the railing 10-15 feet away.
So, Jack, just where you mentioned the crow's nest was your interest, as you come up and look,
Yes.
there's actually two crow's nests. There's a true standard crow's nest on the further back mast, which is the full height tall mast, and it is literally top except for the little pennant flag at the top. On the front mast, which is I don't know proper terminology, I'm going to call it a half mast, is a little shorter. There is another slightly smaller crow's nest in the front as well.
Okay.
You do, as you're looking up, you do see somebody sort of camped out in the front mast crow's nest at the moment. You don't notice anybody.
That's the
there.
slightly shorter one you said?
Yep.
Okay. So she'll look to Lydia and point to the shorter one where the person is. Is in this one? Yes.
Yes.
Always this one?
Yes, he's always there.
And she goes to the other one.
Oh, okay. You can look into that one too.
Easy enough for you to climb up using the ray, and you've done this a couple of 100,000 times before. About this time
I don't
is...
like heights.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I was just saying, be careful, I don't like heights.
About this time, I'm actually going to ask Furia. Go ahead and roll a d10 for me.
Alright.
As we don't have Art here to take care of this, so we're going to have Furia make these rolls.
That's a 6.
Okay.
Well,
Let's see here. Okay. Okay. Just taking a look here. Okay, and go ahead and make a roll a d20 for me.
19.
Alrighty then.
Nice.
So it takes Art a good couple of minutes, but manages to pull in what looks to be a very small catfish.
So, if he unhooks it, Fury will try to hold on to it.
He hooked it, man, with a roll of a 19. He manages to pull it up. It's just now hanging off the hook as it's holding it a little towards you, and the fish is sitting there. Fish out of water.
Take like the end of my cloak and use it sort of to grasp the fish a little bit better. Unhook it. And then how far deep down is the water from the end of the dock?
It's probably about 3 or 4 feet.
How deep is... Can I tell how deep the water is from here?
It's hard for you to say. It's not like Bahamas sea down to the ground clear. You've got it. You would assume it's at least probably 20 or 30 feet deep, as there are large ships that are able to berth here.
All right, so I'm going to do my best to hang off the end of the dock upside down and try to put the fish in the water. and what I'm trying to do is trying to push the fish up and down in the water.
Okay.
I'll
Over
hold
the crow's
your...
nest, Jack.
You're up on the boat. This is happening down on the dock.
Yeah. Well, I assume I can see it from the crow's nest.
Oh
right?
yeah,
I'm
you can
just
definitely
watching.
see this as you
Jack
watch
just
as Fury starts
Whistles and points to William to get him hey, check that shit out. Look what's happening over there.
I have no idea what she's doing.
So can I reach the water with my fish?
How tall are you?
Like 5'10".
You reach down, like, death grip on the back of this fish's tail, and it is just barely... You're getting, like, the front lips of this thing into the water. It's just... Your arm isn't quite long enough. You think you'd need someone to help you actually hang over the edge.
Do you want me to help you hang over the edge?
But yeah, I'm going to sort of look up at Art and Hey, can you get Lydia? I need to hang down farther. I'm not quite tall enough.
Art will nod and, little stumpy gnome feet start taking off. Lydia, Furia needs some assistance down here.
Or I'll call, or Snow Moon, he might be tall enough too.
Oh, okay. How tall is Snow Moon?
Snow Moon is looking the other way tall.
Oh, how tall is Snow Moon?
4. But how tall is you?
7'2"?
Actually, I just need somebody really strong, not necessarily tall.
Yeah, he just said
That's
Snow
not-
Moon was 4 foot.
Oh, Snow Moon, on a scale of 1 to 20, what would you say that you are strong?
I would say.
Hold on, our server is acting up. I'm going to try switching servers and getting a
Okay.
robot from you.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, how about now, folks?
Testing.
Hello,
1, 2, 3.
hello.
Hey, that
Oh.
seems to have cleared Maddie up some.
Yeah, Snow Moon sounds better.
Okay.
Snow Moon, how tall are, or how strong are you on a scale of 1 to 20?
I would say about a 16.
Okay, Furia, you might want Snow Moon to help you.
Hurry up, my fish is dying!
As you hold this thing,
So he's kind of still trying to like fully grasp what's happening, but okay, and he heads down the walk here and back to the dock. Okay,
and you
Furia,
see
what is it?
Furia try and
Uh-huh.
hang off the edge with a fish that looks like it is suffocating.
Yeah, I'm like on my face, hanging off the edge of the dock. Probably like waist off. Hold on to my feet, I need to get like a foot lower!
He'll just like mid-Furia and grab a hold of her feet and just. Do you want me to lower you in further? Told you where you are.
I just need to get like a foot off more.
Oh,
I just
William Hoots now.
don't have enough body mass to do it.
Like okay, just all right. Here we go, and I guess I'll just try to nudge her a little bit forward, but holding on to her feet.
Go ahead and make a strength check for me.
Okay.
Better you than me.
That would be a 13.
Okay. Let's see here. Okay, you managed to keep a hold, and you are down, and you are now able to sort of dunk the fish up and down in the water. You notice
I put the fish down and see it breathing, and then I push the fish up and just keep doing that for
as
maybe
you
a
just
couple
sort
of
of
minutes.
hold it, it doesn't seem like it's really getting much. As you do it a couple of times, you notice as you push it down into the water, as it seems to enter in the water, moves across its head. You watch as it's almost like. The minute you stop, though, it seems to almost be like it's holding its breath again. It seems like the water moving across it is what helps it breathe.
I think
This
it's
is
called
so
animal-
cool, guys. Thanks.
No, it's called
So-
animal cruelty.
Waterboarding the wildlife, it is cruel.
Cruelty, exactly. It's animal cruelty, I think.
And after I get, my observations, I'm just gonna drop the fish back into the. All right, pull me up.
Poor fish.
Okay,
You go ahead and make a strength
Brace
check
yourself.
to pull her back
Pull
up.
me a foot or so up.
brace yourself. Oh, a 5.
And
Oh, no.
snowboot follower, and you just go tumbling into the water. And as you land in the water, try to pull your head up, you watch as that catfish is almost staring at you and then just darts back down and under the water.
I just grin at it. Is there somewhere I can climb back on shore somewhere nearby?
Yeah, if you swim down probably about 15, 20 feet, there's a ladder to get back up onto the dock.
Do you know how to swim, Les?
Yeah, I'm not the greatest swimmer, but that
Real
was
short campaign.
great, guys. Thanks.
And he meets Furia back at the ladder after she climbs up in the water, and he just kind of like avoiding eye contact. Just, I'm sorry.
I got what I needed. It's all good. And she full out like skips back onto the ship.
Well,
So somewhat
We'll just-
uncomfortable skip for you, Fury, as each foot is
It'll dry. Squeeze out my cloak a little. And
As you make your way back up, Art comes up onto the deck and joins up with everyone.
Wonderful. Well, do you want the 5-penny tour?
Yeah.
Wonderful. And I will start showing them around the ship if I can.
Easy enough to. Again, there's not a whole lot to the ship. It seems to be for William and Jack, who've been on ships for a while. It seems to be in pretty good shape. We've got a couple of ballistas on the back of the ship. One on the front, which does not show on my map, but let me actually grab one here. I'm not going to go searching for that right now. Let's get 2 on the back, 1 on the front. You can see there are a couple of points that you can tell it's been in a couple of battles, taking a couple of shots from ballistas. Again, as you're showing people around, you're pointing out the crow's nests and everything. Jack sort of hanging out up top, looking down at you.
I want to make sure they see that in the crew quarters, that even though they're all bunks, I have a bigger bunk slightly. And and it's painted purple with like some silver sparkles, and it says like Lydia on the wall next to it because I've been on here for 5 years.
So as you are going through everything and bring them down into the crew quarters, you notice it's sort of partitioned off is the best way I can phrase it from the cargo hold by just this large sort of netting that runs across. The cargo hold being towards the rear end of the boat, the crew cabins being towards the front half of this half here. And as you notice, the majority of them is exactly as Lydia said.
I can't see that half.
Oh, really?
Really?
Bloody roll 20. I love you and I hate you at the same time. Sometime. Okay, so I'm gonna steal Jack's well for a minute, because I don't have the. No, I do not want to take the bloody dock with me. Okay, so now we'll throw you over here.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay, so
Well, there's a Fabio.
So for purposes, there is a netted section that runs basically from. This is going to be hideously drawn. Run through this section back here that has the majority of the cargo. Everything in this open section where you guys are currently is just stacked with bunks, with the exception of this one section right back here, which is just 3 massive casks with spigots on the front of them. As Lydia is showing you guys around, and you see the majority of the bunks are set up almost like hammocks, stacked 3 high. Then there is one massive purple and silver bed that is down against the wall on the side over here. That is just nothing above it, just a bed sitting down on the side.
Where I lay me head. Everybody else can find a free hammock if they want. Nope. I think that one's free.
As you're around, there's
Jones
probably, as you're looking around, and Lydia, you would know this, anywhere between 15 to 20 hammocks that are open right now.
Oh.
Grangel, as you're looking around, for those of you who aren't as familiar, it's probably about 45 sort of crammed in here, and you'll see some that have small rucksacks in them.
Mm-hmm.
Again, doesn't seem like there's a whole lot in the way of personal possessions left right now, as most of the crew is off on shore leave for a couple of days, getting a little rest. But you see, it looks like the captain keeps it running, so they've got enough people to run at least 2 or 3 shifts to keep the fully staffed throughout the day.
Lydia, I can pick one and it's mine? Like, for as long as I'm here?
Of course.
Great! I'm gonna pick if they're stacked, one of the ones, taller ones, looking at all the shorter people in my group.
As you're looking, it's literally, they're stacked. Like, there's one that's maybe, it's hang down, so the lowest point is about 1.5 or 2 feet from the ground. Then there's one that's about, 5.5, 6 feet from the ground. And then there's one that's right up by the top.
Yeah, being fairly dexterous, I'll climb up to one of the top ones and put my
Easy
short
enough.
bow in it.
They're all hung on to it. It's easy enough to take steps and get into it.
And kind of following Furia's lead, Snow Moon will look at one of the like middle bunks and just take.
Yeah,
All right.
easy enough. And Snow Moon, how much do you weigh?
289 pounds.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're fine.
Okay. He tests it first, kind of all of his weight on it.
Yeah, you sort of push down on it. It seems to hold as you sort of crawl in. It's a little strange. As most of you who haven't spent a lot of time on a ship are not used to this sort of free swinging movement in a hammock style bed. So he's just sort of hanging for a minute. It's like, oh, that's sort of nice.
Furia thinks it feels like a lot like being in a tree, way up in a tree, so she likes
That's
it.
true. You probably like that a lot.
William and Jack, this is old hat for you guys. If you even bother to come down and
No.
Yeah, William's just trying to claim it like the best hammock right now.
Go ahead and make a perception check for me, William. And actually, Jack, do the same thing for me while you're still up here on the outside on the crow's nest.
I weigh about 600 pounds. That's funny.
There's a reason
Big
you're on a
lady.
bed.
Oh, and I'm taller than I thought I was. Wait.
17 on my perception check.
Wow, okay. Siblings roll alike.
Oh, he also. That's funny. Do that.
Wait,
Okay.
so I am taller than I thought.
Yeah, so the bed's a little longer than we initially thought.
Yes. I'm not...
William, you do find a couple that seem to be almost unused that are near the, in terms of, assuming you're looking at the lower ones closer to your height. There seems to be one basically a stack right down in this corner, just a little past Lydia's bed, right next to where the cargo net separator is. It seems like only one of them's being used right now, and it's the one on the very top.
Well, I want that top one. I'll come back for that one.
Okay, and Jack, as you're watching, and just, again, being used to being up there, you start to notice in the sky looks to be a small wisp of just gray clouds. As you watch it, though, and this is from where you are, it's looking out to the north.
Okay.
It's off good probably 20, 30 miles. It's just something, it's a beautiful, clear afternoon, and there's just this small little cluster of gray clouds. At least you thought it was clouds. As you watch over the next minute or so, it is moving in a westerly direction, much too quick for it to actually be clouds.
Okay. She'll give another whistle, trying to get the attention of the guy in the lower crow's nest.
Let's see here. Okay. All of a sudden, he just sort of pops up and sort of sits up a little bit, scratches his head, turns around and looks at, "Oi, who are you? What you doing up there?"
She just points to where the thing is.
And he turns around, looks, and sort of squints a little bit, goes into the room, pulls out a spyglass, holds it up to his eye, and starts looking. And as you're watching for a couple minutes, you notice he seems to stiffen for a second. And then, just so I go, puts the spyglass away, turns back over, looks back at you, calls out, "Oh, don't worry, they ain't turning this way. They're going home."
She sort of like tilts his head a little bit. But I think maybe the combination of his like vagueness and her tenuous grasp on common, I don't think she quite takes his meaning. So she just sort of doesn't say anything and kind of backs off.
Okay. And what is everyone's passive perception that's downstairs currently?
15.
Williams is 12.
What was yours, Furia?
15.
And 12 for me.
Okay, so Furia, you are probably the only one who
Oh,
would have heard
no,
that.
15 for me too.
Oh, 15 for you. So you guys would have heard that
Whistle.
whistle from Jack.
Should
Let's
we go
go check
investigate?
it out.
Yeah, let's go
Yeah.
check it out.
Back up.
Back up. Hey, Fabio,
Guys,
save that armor for me. Don't. if it'll
As,
fit.
as you see it, he sort of pops up off of a box, and he's just sort of been laying on top of a box in the car. What?
She told you not to sleep down there. It's bad for the goods.
You ain't gonna tell her, are you?
Nah, not me.
Fury gives a
Lydia.
funny look over to Lydia's like, how does that work? Just goes up to the deck.
I'll go too.
Okay, so as you guys start to head back upstairs, then I will grab the four of you, drag you back
I'm
up.
not dying. You're dying. Ugh,
You okay?
good God. Yeah, I've got a like a cough that's killing me. Ugh,
You need a few moments. Let us know.
no, I'm good. No, maybe not.
Oi! Seamus! I'm gonna call the guy in the first mass Seamus now.
Ugh.
Seamus! What was the whistle for?
He just sort of points back over at Jack.
She leans over. There is and she just points.
And
There's a je ne sais, there.
as you all look where Jack is pointing, and you see just from this distance, it looks to be almost like a just very small wisp of a gray cloud. But it's moving westward at a high rate of speed. Furia, you being naturally inclined, and Lydia and William both being on ships, the three of you would easily know this is not normal speed for a cloud. Snowmoon, I'm not sure if you would necessarily know, like, I guess I'll call it sky weather so much.
Yeah, I don't
One of the
think
things
so.
Druidcraft can do is actually predict the weather in my location for the next 24 hours.
Oh, okay.
So I'll just do that quick just to confirm what I already am thinking.
Okay, as you take a couple moments to check it, next 24 hours seems like clear sailing.
But yeah, you see all of a sudden in Furia's hand like a bright globe appear and then disappear a couple seconds later. It's not supposed to rain. Not supposed to rain at all. So that is not a cloud.
What are you thinking it is?
Something flying very fast.
Hmm.
Many things flying very fast.
Ask him. Jack's like pointing at the other crow's nest.
Seamus! What do you think it is?
all of a sudden that same head pops up. Half his head completely shaved bald. The other half very short, almost just well, a little longer than mine, hangs down a little past his ear. Ruddy sort of copper red hair. He sticks his head over and looks down at you. Lydia, how many times have I told you? It's not Seamus. It's Shoho.
Yeah, I can't say that. Seamus.
All of a sudden he reaches up, picks up the... whips it down at you. Does a 15 hit your AC?
Yeah, no.
As all of a sudden you're... Ding, as a coin hits metal and a copper piece just starts to roll on the deck.
I'll be taking that.
As he looks down. They're just going to... They're going to visit Hondra. Just ignore it.
Alright.
Now, all of you go ahead and make an intelligence check for me.
Ooh, yum.
Uh,
17.
Not bad.
18.
Hey.
Ooh, we smarted Pain.
is this?
I got a plus 0.
well. I was trying to show that I rolled a natural 20, but I really botched it.
I got an 18 as well.
I might have a negative intelligence though. Hang on. No, just a 0. Okay, yeah, just a 20.
Okay, then...
Are we just rolling intelligence?
Yep, just straight intelligence.
I know nothing. I'm a dumb boy.
William is lost in thoughts of his former captain at the moment, or someone else. He's thinking about how to get that bunk. The rest of you, the minute you hear the man Lydia keeps calling Seamus say the name Hondar, something starts to click. Is you've heard tale of a dragon known as the Red Rage of Mintarn. Doesn't tend to leave his home very often. But has been known to entertain younger drakes and dragonkin who come seeking counsel. He makes his home in this area of the Moonshea Isles. For the most part, as long as the local cities and governments pay their tribute, he doesn't get involved. Doesn't care anything for the ships sailing the seas. He gets enough from the different islands and cities. Once more, and Shaho looks down at the group of you. They'll have a few more before the next couple of days. They're flying from the east, so it's got to be something happening on the mainlands. Like Captain always says, don't stick our nose in his realm, and he won't stick his nose in ours.
Jack's just gonna watch for another minute. Just goes, "Teh." She just kind of goes back to disappearing within the confines of the crow's nest, so she doesn't have to look at or talk to anybody.
Yeah, as you're looking, you would guess that as you watch for the next couple of minutes, they do fly down to an island distant off in the slightly northwest from where you are. You'd guess it's anywhere from 50 to 100 miles from where you are. Not much in the way of, flight for a dragon, but
Several days worth of sailing for a ship.
if you guys were to start heading that direction, yes. I guess from what Shaho says, it doesn't seem like Captain's too interested to go ahead in that direction. Might poke the bear.
So they're going northwest from us.
Well, they're in the north and they're going almost due west.
Okay. The super top secret treasure map that we saw.
Yep.
Did any of those circles that she had drawn there correspond at all with the heading that I'm looking at these dragons moving in?
Given given how much you and your sister work with something like this, there was something that was, speaking cardinal directions, west northwest of you, that she had marked there. The island so that you're looking at this cloud is sort of approaching, and then as you watch it over the next minute, starts to descend and just vanish into the top of the mountains on it, is more northwest.
Okay.
So it's, if you could get to the marks without having to approach too close to that area.
Okay. All right.
Likewise, so as you're out there just scanning and looking out, you don't see anything huge. But likewise, you would know that from your time, that map was showing things that were good couple of 100 plus miles away, so you wouldn't expect to see anything really from this distance.
Okay.
Thanks, James. Thanks.
5 years she's been on this ship. She hasn't figured that guy's name out.
Doesn't work with the accent so much.
You look at him putting that name in the chat as if we're not all gonna call that guy Seamus forever now. Wishful thinking at best.
Hey, remember, every name has a meaning.
Yeah. Okay.
So as you guys have, at this point it's probably only been about a half an hour, maybe an hour, as Lydia's given you the full sort of tour of the ship. You've got the evening and another day before you guys are planning on hitching sail. Anything else anyone would like to do with the remainder of today, or anything else you guys want to do on the island before preparing to depart?
I feel like Jack shot a lot of people today. She's probably gonna lay low. You'll stay on the boat.
Let me think.
Lydia was thinking about selling some stuff, but then realized
Yeah,
she could use that stuff.
I was going to change into that chainmail and then go sell my my scale mail. If I could get any money for that.
Oh, okay. Furious, No Moon, Sweet William, anything you guys would be doing?
Fury would just wander around town.
Okay.
Not go too far, but just take in sights, sounds. But not really do anything. Mind your own business.
Oh,
Sleep
yeah.
on the boat at night.
And Snow Moon is just going to explore the boat a little bit and just explore it and start to learn it. Yeah, not much though.
Oh, okay. And Sweet William?
William's gonna ask around town and see what is on this island other than this town.
Oh, okay. So for the three of you heading to town, say go ahead and make a survival check, each one of you. To see how well you do with your individual goals. Oh, okay.
17.
And Lydia? Are you muted?
9.
Oh, okay. So
9.
we will start. We'll start with Fury because it seems like Fury is going to be the most successful. So Fury, you're just sort of poking around in anything in specific you're just looking for. You're just sights and sound. What?
Sights, sounds. I might, stop in at the tavern, see what I can hear, but not
okay.
really looking for anything in particular.
Oh, okay. So you do happen as it's getting to be closer to dinner time. You do see that a lot of people are coming back in. Ships are berthing back at the dock, and these are smaller boats now. You're seeing a lot of fishing boats. Seems like basic town folk come in and bringing their hauls in for the day. As they're wrapping up, you do see a large number of people heading towards different inns and taverns. You see a lot of people actually heading to the Flying Pelican, as it doesn't seem like it's always here, as it's just floating. It looks like any other boat that pulled up, other than the building on it. So as you look around, you hear a bunch of people saying, "Oh yeah, the inn's back. I gotta get some. They got that great drink again. Oh, I gotta go try it. That bartender Rianne. Oh, yeah, they got some good stuff in there." So you start hearing people talking about this place, and you start to see a little bit of the crowd is starting to head that direction. So if you choose to, you can follow along with them or look for other things or other inns or taverns within the town if you're looking to find somewhere to sort of
It
hang your
does
feet
sound
up.
interesting. Like, Fairy has never heard of a inn that's not always there, so...
So as you start to follow everyone back, we'll jump over to Lydia real quick. Lydia, you're not usually the one that gets sent into town to run errands like this. Captain trusts you to take care of the ship, and if Captain's not around, tends to leave you in charge in terms of just making sure you're also a large, imposing figure. Most people that come on aren't really gonna say boo to a heavily armored giant.
True.
It takes you the better part of about an hour to eventually find your way into for all purposes, they'll call it like the general store. This is a slightly smaller town, so they don't have a whole lot of specialized merchants. Most of what you can see, they've got some run-of-the-mill, like leather armors, but most of what they sell is, like, you can see a wide variety of fishing rods, nets, baskets.
Here you have a bunch of fishing rods. Maybe I should get her one.
You can see all sorts of fishing equipment, baits, things of that nature. They do have a decent amount of what you can find on your standard adventures information from the player's handbook. You don't, mechanically speaking, you don't see any health potions sitting around, but
Okay.
just about everything else they'll have at least a couple on hand of.
Gotcha. I should have gotten a shopping list from the captain, but that's usually Fabio's job. Why am I doing Fabio's job? Oh, damn. Anyway, I will try to sell... Hello there, I was just wondering if I could, unload this one to your hands. I've got a scale mail here that I could sell you.
Let's
Slightly used, good condition.
take a look here for you.
Okay, I'll show him the scale mail.
Scale
I
mail.
had previously been wearing.
And of course, my handbook is behind my green screen, and I'm not going to dive under my green screen to grab it because poorly planned. Did not plan on a shopping trip from my players today.
Maybe tomorrow.
Great start, guys. Second session and we're already shopping.
Just one
Let's
item.
see here.
Spend the next 45 minutes haggling about price with this shopkeeper.
I will. I want
Okay.
your best
so-
fishing supplies.
Okay, so you're looking at it a little bit. Points out, you got a few dents on it here.
Yeah.
It's been seeing a little bit of action, and sort of picks it up and holds it up in front of him, and it's... I don't know if we have many folks your size here.
Could I fit in the chainmail that since it was a
And-
hobgoblin.
Well, we'll say sure, because technically I believe furbolgs are still considered medium creatures.
Yes, we are.
So, yeah.
Okay.
So as he's looking at them, beaten up a little, used, give you 35 gold.
Fair enough. And will you throw in a fishing pole if I give you a bait bag?
Depends on the pole.
Nothing too fancy. I don't think my friend knows how to fish yet, but you might be willing
Just sort
to.
of, and he points over to, points to what looks to be basically nothing more than a trimmed down tree branch with a little bit of string tied on the end of it.
Wonderful.
Says, that's 5 copper.
I will give you 5 copper.
He points over at one that looks like it's actually made from a pole. It's a little bit.
Oh, okay.
It's actually got an actual reel on it to reel in.
No.
That one's 2 silver. And then
Maybe.
he points out what looks to be like almost like a bamboo. I mean, this thing is beautifully made. The looks like the inside of it, the reel runs through the inside of it, comes out the end. Everything on the reel is highly polished metal. It's like, and that one's 5 gold.
How much do I love Furia?
It's for
What you
somebody
know
you
what to
love.
do with that?
Do you know that Furia actually wants a fishing pole?
No. I'm just guessing. It's blind guess completely. She might not even want a fishing pole. So we'll go with the 2 silver one, lad.
Okay. Then he pulls over the 2 silver.
Yep.
Then as he starts going and just takes a small wooden bucket, reaches down underneath, puts a couple of scoops in and sets a bucket down in front of you. And as he goes to pushes down a lid on it, you just see a massive writhing pot full of what looks to be like worms and night crawlers and
Love
all
it.
manner of
Life of a sailor. Totally Sarah.
So he looks over and does the math out, and you end up getting, it just gives you the 35 gold. You can pay him the 2
Okay.
silver. Sure.
Okay. Wonderful. Thank you, my
Math.
good man.
So
And I will
is,
head back to the boat or looking for Furia.
okay, so is, you start heading back that way, then we're going to jump over to Sweet William. And Sweet William, now what did you say you were heading into town for? You were just going to look around, see what else was going on the island?
Well, I'm trying to gather information about, like, what all is here on this heckin' rock.
Oh, okay. So it takes you the better part of about 2.5 hours as you're going around trying to find people to talk to. And it's just, you turn down one street and you can see people in there turning down a different way, just trying to find a gathering. Eventually you find a small group of people that are just sort of hanging out in front of what looks to be a, basically like a fisherman's stand that's closing down for the evening. And as you're starting to listen as you're getting closer to it, you can hear them talking about trying to get enough money to start bringing their supplies into the capital. Takes another couple minutes. I don't want to say really like listening to them, but you start hearing references to a city. Let me find my city name in my notebook here. Come on. Of course, I can't find it right there. So give me a second. Okay, let me see here. I cannot find my notes. Okay, so I can't find my city name, so I'll have to dig that up when we go to break. But they're talking about bringing it to the Tarnian capital on Mintarn. So as they're discussing, and as you're listening a little bit more to them, you get, and again, you get this just from your travel and being on boats. You can tell that again, the guy with the fish stall, comes from a family of fishers. The other two that are talking with him are definitely not on the up and up, if you take my meaning. Is just the way they're speaking. They put you back to your first experiences on the pirate ship. It doesn't seem like this area is overly concerned with who you are or what you've done, as long as you don't do it here.
Sure.
As they say, NIMBY, not in my backyard. As long as you don't cause trouble for them, they're not going to cause trouble for you, is the impression you get. Is these two are talking not so much as old friends, but as like polite acquaintances. They've seen each other a couple of times. They don't seem to be concerned about each other.
Okay.
Now you start to hear other people talking again as you're moving around, and you hear mentions much like Furia did about how that tavern you guys met at, the Flying Pelican, has showed up again. It seems like it's not always here. So you see, start to see another group of people head in that direction. But it hits you a little odd is how does a building just vanish?
Would I know that Furia was going to the Pelican?
You knew Furia was heading out and about into town.
Okay.
Maybe I didn't even know she was going to the Pelican.
Oh, okay. Lydia would probably just end up at the Pelican for, like, a good drink or something.
It's up to Lydia.
Or food. I would end up at the Pelican. Probably knowing that it was only there for a short, limited time.
Okay.
So,
And a couple of you heading that way. Sweet William, what would you be doing?
Is it evening right now?
Yeah, at this point, as all of you went out, it took you all different, between like half an hour to a couple of hours. Sun's pretty much setting. It's getting on dinner or just after dinner at this point.
time for a decent meal, if you ask me.
Oh yeah. Well, William's gonna make his way to the tavern to have a few drinks and find some pretty young thing to warm the bed with.
Alrighty then. So what we will do is we will take our break there this evening, as it is just after 9:30, as it seems like about half our party is heading off to the tavern. And we've got a couple of party members still hanging back on the boat. So we're going to start out with them when we get back in just a few minutes. So thank you very much for everyone hanging out with us this evening. We'll be back, anywhere between 3 to 7 minutes. And we'll find out what shenanigans our party's going to get into. Stay tuned, folks. we are back up and ready to roll. As you notice, we have lost Snow Moon's video. We're having some minor connection problems with his audio, so we're going to see if removing the video for the remainder of the stream might help clear that up. He's having some minor connection. With that being said, our party has slowly started to meander and make their way, unbeknownst to each other, back to the Flying Pelican, as it is getting to be about that time that everyone's looking for dinner, drinks, relax after the day's goings on. So I am now going to fly our players over to the inside of the Flying Pelican.
Let's go!
And keep in mind there are bodies sitting around the bar as well. It's actually fairly well packed at the moment. Mm-hmm. I just ran out of time pulling tokens. As you can see, we do have placeholder tokens for our party. Actually, you can't. I keep forgetting because I don't have the map screen pulled up for you guys. But as those of you start to arrive, Furia, you were the first one in the door. You found an open table over to the right-hand side, so proceeded to sit down. And over the next, 10 to 15 minutes, strange enough, just one right after another, Art shows up, Lydia shows up, Bitter Jack, Snow Moon, finally Sweet William arrives. As you're all sitting down, and again, a young woman keeps, again, each time one of you sits down, comes running over, "Oh, yeah, more of you. Oh, okay, what do you have? What do you have?" And starts taking orders to get, different things, whatever you want for dinner. Taken care of as you now find yourselves all gathered around the table.
Furia!
Yeah?
I got you this pole.
I don't know how to fish.
And this bait.
I don't know how to fish.
Not yet. Not with that attitude.
I don't really want to know how to fish.
Not with that attitude.
Lydia? I'm not a fishin'.
Jack,
Present.
Jack reaches forward and very gently takes the fishing pole and the bucket. She says, "Merci. Okay." And she puts them down.
Wonderful. Someone will use that then. I got some money for the armor too, so we can dig that up later.
As you guys are looking around the room, you can see there seem to be a couple of tables that just have a mismatch of people sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them seem to be townsfolk of one type or another. You do see two tables that look to be actual, again, we'll call it similar table structure to yours, where it seems to be a crew sitting together, or at least a portion of a crew. Again, you tend to be hearing the loudest noise from the couple of tables and the bar where the townsfolk are all sitting.
Okay.
There's a couple of people sitting up at the bar getting drunk, and they're just firing off one-liners back and forth at each other. It's stupid little gag jokes and things like that, and every once in a while you start, "Oh, what I'm drinking, oh, what I'm drinking."
Alright.
Hear the table sitting just to the right of you guys, closer to the door. Pipes up and gives a shout. "Oh yeah, you, lass, get us another round of the specials." And a little bit of a slur in the speech. And she just sort of waves down, and you see her go back behind the bar and start talking to the bartender again. The Eric Hawker goes around, and you can see, just starts mixing things from this dark black, these different dark bottles. One dark black, another one that has this sort of, almost like a smoke, an orange liqueur in it. But as he pops the cork, it almost seems to smoke a little bit, pouring out of the top of the bottle.
Oh yeah. Do you guys want specials too?
I did see several people talking about it, and that this here inn isn't here all the time, so they were really excited.
Shall we try the special then? Bitter Jack?
What is special?
Exactly. We don't know what's in it. That's what makes it special.
A special stew gets you a one-way ticket in the drain.
Why are you speaking like that?
I'm drunk.
Oh. You'll have a special too. Snow Moon?
I'll pass on the drink.
Okay. Furia?
I'll pass on the drink, Lydia. I think it's
I guess.
best.
4 specials, please, ma'am.
She goes over and takes her information here, and you know what? Sarah, go ahead and roll a percentile for me.
Oh dear. Percentile.
Yep.
58.
Alrighty then. Okay, as she comes over and after a few minutes brings over the 4 drinks and asks you for 12 copper.
Okay.
Sets down in front of you the 4 glasses, and it is a dark amber brown, almost like it looks to be almost like a thicker drink with a very decent sized sort of taupe colored head on the beverage.
Interesting.
As you all sort of get a whiff of it, has sort of like a almost like a brown butter-esque smell to it.
Ooh. This smells lovely. Cheers, everyone. Okay, I'll cheers
Jack
to
kind
myself.
of like sniffs at it. Is the like the serving girl still near us?
Yep.
Jack kind of points at hers and she says, "Is alcohol?"
She looks at it and says,
Yeah.
"There's something in it, yeah. From what everyone around here says, it tends to go with a piece of meat."
And she pushes hers over in front of William.
What is it? The special soup?
No, it's
No, it's a
drink of
it's a
some
drink.
sort, right?
Smells like a
So
brown
out
butter.
about
Looks.
that.
Okay.
I'll raise mine and take a tentative sip at it.
Yep.
As you take a sip of it, it's a very sort of thick ale. Think sort of like Guinness, meal in a can type feel in your mouth.
Love Guinness.
It's as you let it roll over your tongue, feel it in your mouth a little bit. It has a very sort of rich, again, that sort of buttery taste to it, and then you get almost like a hint of peppercorn on the back end.
Delicious.
Again, it as you're drinking it down, as the young lady said, you could definitely see this being real good next to a nice steak or a good cut of meat.
Yeah. You guys are missing out. This thing's fantastic. Reminds me of some drinks here back home. Believe it or not.
It's actually quite good. Bear's just gonna kick back and enjoy it, survey the room.
Okay, so go ahead, all of you, and make perception checks for me as you're all sort of relaxing and, again, just trying to get a lay and see what's going on here.
I got an 8.
I got a 7.
I got a 12.
Perception?
Yep. Actually, we'll roll. Okay. Alrighty then.
Was
So-
I muted? I've been coughing. Was I muted when I said I got an 8?
Nope, you got yours. So, for everyone except for Lydia.
I got a 5.
Oh wait, I didn't hear you, Snowmoon. What'd you get? Nope, I lost you if you're still talking.
Can you hear?
A little.
I am talking.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah, we got you now.
Okay, I got a 4.
Okay. Yeah, so my statement stands true. So everyone except for Lydia. And hold on, I'm going to reset our server again, see if this helps him out now that he's got no video. Okay, for everyone except for Lydia, all of a sudden you catch the two seats right at the end of the bar, directly behind the group of you, start going back and forth, just literally firing one after another at each other. And it sounds like they're trying to have a bad joke contest. They're trying to outdo each other. So you end up hearing one of them looks at the other. Oh, okay, what a paladin's drink. Just tease! And the other one just sort of shakes his head, puts his hand down, and... No. Hear the one about how the mages barricaded the embassy from attack? They used a warlock! Just back and forth. And again, for the majority of you, that's... The two of them are getting louder and louder as they're firing off at each other. And you do notice that the Rianne, the tavern keeper behind the bar, is starting to look at them more and more as they are getting a little more raucous. Lydia, you catch all of that, but at the same time, you start hearing from behind you. The keep in mind, I just threw you guys around the table, so from the table next to the door, you're one of the fishermen start talking. I'm telling you again, man. I saw it. It's still out there. Nobody's been able to catch the thing yet. If you head down to town hall, they still got the board out front. 1,000 gold to the people who can pull the thing in. But I went through 5 of my best fishing reels trying to catch that thing. It's one heck of a fish or whatever it is. Never even got up to the surface. And they start going back and forth a little bit over trying to catch whatever this creature is that they're discussing. As you're sort of listening in, and as the rest of the group, some people are starting to laugh and chuckle a little bit more at the different jokes that these chuckleheads are tossing out. You catch after a couple of seconds, you hear a name pop out. And you hear, as you always say it, they call it Joker.
Joker. Oh.
But whatever it is, it's big. Heard too many stories, people getting pulled off the ships. They don't come back up.
Boys, if you're feeling enterprising and with the fishing, there's a something big under the water that they can't seem to quite to catch. Called Joker, I believe, and a lot of money can be had if we go fishing. Just saying. I bought you a pole for you. I guess now it's Bitter Jack's, but still.
She can keep it. I don't need to fish.
It's okay.
What?
It's okay. Don't you?
All right.
So we can go out and look for it if you want, but they say it's a man-eater.
But I'm a lady.
Or a lady-eater. A person-eater. A furball eater. It's an eater of things. Alive things. God, this is awkward. Eater of things, yes.
Just tossing that out there, folks.
So,
Well, is this the kind of thing that we want to be doing, that we want to focus on right now?
we've got another day in port. Nothing to do.
Well, from what you said, it sounds like it could be dangerous. Is it worth the risk?
Have you ever been on the sea, Snow Moon?
No, I haven't spent much time on the sea before.
Then you don't know what the life of danger is, then. Every day on the boat is another day closer to your death.
I've faced many a danger before, whether or not it has been on the sea.
Like what?
Just days when I was with my clan, but we don't need to go into them right now.
Why not?
I'd just rather not talk about it.
Who's your clan?
My former clan?
Yeah?
That's an
Okay.
awfully personal question, isn't it, Lydia?
Guillem,
Is it?
Guillem,
Oi, yeah?
de quoi parlent-ils? What are they talking about?
This guy here, he's being secretive.
I thought I heard fish again with them. What is it always fish?
They've never seen one before.
But
She's just looking at you guys all incredulously.
Well, it sounds like Lydia overheard somebody else talking about a really big fish that we can go catch.
Oi.
oh, and
And
4,000 gold.
oh. Oh,
There's some phrases even Jack understands in common.
All I can hear right now in my head is the
What?
French chef in Little Mermaid going, La poisson, la poisson.
for why is there a fish for 1,000 gold? Is
I just heard a bit of it, but it sounds like it's man-eater. I mean, an eater of things, and it'll drag down anyone that can maybe get to it, or can't get to it, rather.
is have to be
And she picks up the fishing pole.
or is
And she pats the guns.
Ooh, now that's a nice idea.
Was there any talk about that reward being dead or alive?
No, but I'm sure we can go to the town hall and find out more information. Because that's where they're offering the reward. Who can reel it in? They didn't say dead or alive.
maybe tomorrow catch this 1,000 gold fish?
That's what I was thinking. Spend an afternoon fishing with some swords. Can't find a better time.
Okay
And
then.
of course, we're friends. But we'll continue drinking.
Okay. Easy enough as you guys are noticing as you guys are all sort of hunkered in and focused on this conversation, talking about the money and sort of having this little conversation, is you finish, you realize you don't hear the two loudmouths anymore. turn and glance over your shoulders. Seats are empty.
Huh.
None of you remember them walking past.
What's the Akakra up to?
At the moment, you turn around and look at Rian. You seem just back behind the bar, and she seems to be just cleaning out a glass. Make a perception check as you're turning back to look.
Creepy. 15 plus 5. 20.
You do notice the staff that you saw on the wall when you were in here earlier. It's now facing the other direction. Looks like it's been moved.
Was that episode 1? Staff on the wall?
Yeah, from your first time. It's only been a couple of hours.
Oh, okay.
So your first time in here, when you looked up at the staff, which had that sort of ornate carved, almost looking like a branch reaching out and holding on to something.
Right. Yep.
It was facing one direction. As you turned and looked at it now,
Yep.
it literally looks like somebody took it down and put it back up, but it's now facing the other direction. They didn't put it up the same way.
Ooh, okay.
Are there the people telling jokes that are now gone? Is that the only difference in the crowd?
Yep.
In the tavern that we notice?
Yeah, only the two people at the last two seats just aren't there anymore.
Okay.
Were they the ones talking about the fish as well, or was that a different?
Yeah.
No, so those were the two making the basically
Okay.
the bad jokes, dad jokes, whatever you want to call them.
Okay. Okay.
D&D version of a dad joke, folks.
Yep.
The table talking about the fish was over here.
Gotcha. Okay.
I can... I could detect magic at will, because it's a Furbolg thing. So, what kind of magic would I see if I was looking at that staff?
Alrighty then. So we're going head first into this. So let me see what you would see here. Okay, come on and be slow for me, why don't you? Sorry, folks, we've got my recurring characters are on my D&D Beyond thing.
It's okay if it comes up later.
Yeah, so basically when you're detecting magic and you turn back, you definitely get a bright glow off of that staff.
Okay.
As you're looking, though, you also see a glow on some sort of necklace that's around her neck. And you also get a ring on her hand is glowing.
Okay, thank you.
Not a problem.
That staff is lit up like a Christmas tree. I mean, a mid-winter's fest tree. Whatever the heck they celebrate in this world.
So that you are probably referring to either midwinter.
Let's go with that.
Yeah.
Mid-winter's tree.
I'd say that's probably the closest thing to what you're thinking. That takes place in between Hammer and Alteriac.
Makes perfect sense. Alright.
Also known as Deep Winter and the Claw of Winter. So,
Okay.
yes, folks, I have a calendar this time.
Yes!
That's why I told my players today is the 8th of Tarshak,
Yep, I wrote
also known as the Claw of Storms.
Ah. Okay.
Wow.
So as you're start looking around, you're sharing this with the all of a sudden from behind you, you hear almost an audible pop. And as you turn and look, the two people are back.
Huh.
As you watch as Rian puts down the mug, walks over and leans into the bar a little bit. Now there, as I've told you yesterday, this sort of raucous behavior is not welcome here. Do so again and I shall not bring you back as quickly.
Oh dear.
Leans back up, walks back over, picks up the mug and starts cleaning it, putting it underneath the bar, and picks up another one.
Don't mess with the bartender. She'll-
Yes, I think we
It's
should
not
keep cool heads in here, everyone.
She's not a lady to be trifled with.
Indeed.
But back to drinking.
As you guys, this is you guys keep going through. You can hear bits and pieces from other conversations, but again, most of them are, as you're listening in, it's the townsfolk talking about it, where they're expecting the next big crab haul. Just people talking about their livelihoods and what their plans are for the next morning. All planning on heading out before dawn.
Nice.
Seems to be as a lot of the townsfolk start to head out. Seems like the bar is starting to die down.
Are you guys getting rooms here, or are you gonna go back to the ship with me?
I'm fine going on the ship. It's cheaper than here.
Alright.
Yes, I'll head back to the ship as well. It's the vessel we're going to be sailing on, so we should.
Aye,
should
but you
try
might
to-
want to be stretching your legs before you get on it.
I do not want the bird person to how you say poof.
Ah, yes. Okay.
I do not wish to stay here.
Alright. Back to the ship we go. Unless, Sweet William, you were looking for lady, weren't you?
I wouldn't say lady exclusively.
Or, okay,
My dear brother is not particular.
I just like beauty, you know what I mean?
He has the heart of a poet and the liver of a child. It is his curse.
I can't help it if I just stick my hand in the cookie jar.
William, go ahead and make a perception check for me. Let's see what we got here. Okay. You got... Where, there's
is
what
that
I'm
a
looking for.
dog?
Hmm?
Is that a dog?
Oh, that's something that was supposed to be moved. That is a goblin dog.
A goblin dog.
Yes, that was
dogs for goblins?
Oh,
Ah.
oh. Oh.
I don't like it.
it's a
It's
gog.
Not cute.
So as you look around, William, there's not a whole lot of people who fit your typical sense of beauty in here. As you look, the young lady who's been waiting tables is a somewhat plain-looking hair, just sort of tied back. Looks to be regular town folk. Most of the people that you're looking around are either fishers that are left here, and a couple of odd. You do see a couple of people over at this table here. The majority of the, I guess I'll phrase it, the smaller people, all have these very sort of almost drab red hooded robes on. The captain, or the person in charge, who, again, as you're looking around, you're sort of hearing a little bit of the talk that there's been out. The captain, or the one in charge, is a little bit more, I guess I'll say, aggressive looking in terms of the appearance. You can see Looks to be a dark-skinned individual, very sort of thick, mostly black beard with a couple of sort of salt gray and white little lines in it. As you catch as he's looking around, 3 or 4 earrings in the left ear, massive scar right across the bridge of his nose next to his eye, and then carrying down almost into the beard line. Another one, completely shaved bald head. Another scar running from the side of his temple right next to his eye, all the way back to the back of his head. Looks like he has definitely been in some scrapes. And then there is another individual sitting at the southern table over here. Oh, come on. And looking at this one, again, I don't know Sweet William's, appetites. So, you might be interested in this one. As, basically, I will phrase, very sort of heavy set. Just chunky, neck upon neck upon neck. Very patchy. I mean, like, this sort of beard like I've got going on the side right now, it's like it's been growing out for a couple of days, and that's about it. Massive scars on his right eye. And as he's looking around, you can actually see his right eye looks to be some sort of red circular stone.
Ooh.
But again, completely like Friar Tuck spearball top, skullet, long hair in the back.
For the viewers who can't see the map that we can, imagine if the creature with from the Black Lagoon had a offspring with a potato.
Yeah,
that's what the token for this guy looks like.
Hey, you know what I can do?
pretty close.
Snow Moon, this is not gonna work out, are you? No, it will not let me go over Snow Moon's image, will it? Oh, now he's upside down. Hold on, we're gonna blow this guy's picture up.
Ooh.
Yeah, it will not go over Snow Moon. So.
He's rough. Ooh. He's rough.
Ew.
Oh, it's so much worse enlarged.
Yeah, he's pretty rough looking.
Yeah, so I will say Matt's description is probably very accurate.
Yeah.
For those who are Doctor Who fans, uglier Centauran.
Yeah.
Uglier Centauran.
Yeah.
Nice.
So you don't see a whole lot in here that's overly traditionally attractive, but like I said, it's only our second episode, so I really don't know what Sweet William's appetites are for.
I'll write you a write-up.
As I can
I'll
hear
send you
Sweet
an
William
essay.
going, "Oh, this is worse than the stew."
Yeah, he's like gonna down whatever ale he has and just say slim pickings and like leave and like kind of stumble out towards the night of the town.
Easy enough for those of you heading out, dead back. Anyone else doing anything on their way back to the ship?
Nope.
No.
Okay, so as the group of you make your way out and start heading out, so what would the order be of people leaving here?
I'd probably be well, if Sweet William was heading out first, I'd probably be second because I actually know where the boat is.
Yeah.
Wow.
Everyone else is probably a little unfamiliar.
Yeah, I would leave as soon as Lydia does because she knows where the boat is.
Yeah. I would do the same.
In fairness, I just want to point out, we have all been there before. I know where the boat is. Thank you very much. But
And you all went there from
and
here.
we got here from there.
Well, I don't know if you recall.
Jack is like Jack would be going behind William.
Okay.
She's not doddering over him, but like as he goes, she's like, and she just gets up and kind of goes out as he's like stumbling his way along down the dock. She's maybe like 30 or 40 feet behind him, just in case he like falls into the ocean or some other shenanigans takes place.
Okay, so as everyone starts heading out, do me a favor. Everyone just roll a straight d20 for me.
Ooh,
Okay.
15.
Oh, 5. I cannot roll.
A mighty 7.
Okay.
15.
Okay, and then we got that was, okay. So it looks like Art is pulling up the rear. As everyone starts making their way out. And let's take a look here. Okay, so is Art takes out and is checking something. Okay. And Furia and Lydia, what's your passive perception? It's a 15?
Yep, both
Yep.
fine.
Alrighty then. So you guys make your way out. And back to the boat.
Okay. That's not scary at all.
I don't know what you're talking about. Nothing happened.
Oh dear.
Artemis is fine.
Okay.
It's not at all a goblin dog in a gnome outfit. Not sure if Bear's watching this after the fact or watching it now. Don't worry, I did not replace you with a goblin dog in a gnome outfit. Not yet.
Not yet.
Go away.
Okay, so our group makes their way back to the boat. Find themselves a somewhat restful evening. Would anyone be looking to keep watch, or you guys all just bunking down and not worrying about it, where you have Saho upstairs, or?
As long as it's clear skies, Jack is going up.
Oh,
And that's
okay.
where she'll spend the night.
Fury would be up for about half the night, just on deck somewhere, corner, looking up the stars,
Oh, okay.
and then after that, go down and sleep the rest in her hammock.
Yeah, I think Snow Moon, he would probably spend the first half of the night just like practicing his sword strokes, just like repetitively the same stroke again and again, and then he would head down to his hammock.
Oh, okay. So, as those of you who are out on the deck, and Jack, would you be up for a little bit, or would you just be up in the crow's nest and then crashing?
I assume as long as there's like a dude swinging a sword on the deck and like stuff happening, Jack's probably just like looking,
Okay.
seeing what's going on, keep an eye on things. But once nothing interesting is happening, she'd go to bed.
Okay, Lydia and Sweet William.
Would I know if there was an established watch system on the boat?
You would when it's sailing, typically.
Okay.
Shaho
take a
tends to keep an eye on things, tends to be a light sleeper. But
Okay.
again, it's Captain never doesn't appreciate someone else keeping an eye open.
I'll take a watch.
Oh, okay.
Maybe third or fourth.
Okay, so easy enough. So for all and Sweet William, what about you? You hanging out on the deck doing anything, or just crashing?
Yeah, Sweet William is hanging out on the deck. He's gonna chit-chat with folks drunkenly.
Oh, okay. So is everyone go ahead and make perception checks for me, as we're just gonna run through this as the night goes on here.
24.
18 plus
Okay.
3. 18.
16.
9. Oh my gosh.
You need new dice, Manny.
I know. I don't think I've hit like double digits once tonight.
Oh my god.
So is
Oh, is he the Tuala of this campaign? He might be.
12 dice.
I did pretty bad last week too.
as you're going through, and now we'll start with Sweet William, as you're sort of made your way up and just sort of plot next, just probably 10 feet or so from the gangplank coming up. And you start to see there are other crew members, people you haven't met before, that are basically stumbling their way back as well. And And coming up, you can see a few of them seeing you there, seeing this massive dragonborn standing off ways in the back and just repeatedly making the same sword slash motion over and over again. Seem to panic a little bit until they see Lydia just sort of walking around like it's no business. They just sort of, and you hear a couple of them mutter back and forth. New blood. We'll get him tomorrow. Hey, some new kids. Here are the stuff that the three of them, you and Jack, are used to seeing from most crews. To, giving the young bloods a little bit of a hard time as they first join up. But some of them stop by, spend a little time talking with you. Nothing too direct or personable. Mostly just, oh, you're as drunk as I am. Oh yeah, bed's downstairs, man.
Yep. Two drunks talking about how drunk they are. Love that.
So, and most of them seem to be, other than the first couple who were talking about hazing, the majority of them seem like they really don't care. They're on for the next job, and they're on trying to make some money. For the rest of you, as you're watching Bitterjack, you being up top would be the first to notice it. Probably about 300 so feet off heading out into deep water. You hear like by term I'll say like a blowhole. Something breaches the water and you just hear as a spray of water comes up. And as quickly as it was there and you turn to look, it's gone and you can just see ripples and bubbles as something's dived back under the water.
Big? Real big?
Decent sized. It's, given what Lydia said, this might be the thing that the fishermen were talking about. And as you
kill a whale,
keep watching for a few moments, you watch as once again you can see something. It doesn't break surface. The best way I can describe it is, think of it like you have your hand underwater and you take your hand and you jet it right up underneath that. You get that sort of swell in the water, but it's not enough to break the surface. And you watch as this thing seems to be about 20-25 feet across.
Across? Shit.
Yeah, widthwise. And probably a little bit more front to back. And it just starts, as it comes up and you watch as the ripples disappears, it starts to swim out a little deeper.
Okay.
As you see that and sort of think down for a few moments and look down at the fishing pole.
We're gonna need a bigger boat.
And then as your eyes turn down, you see 3 ballista on the ship.
We're not gonna need a bigger boat. We got a real good boat right here.
And Lydia, you probably heard that as well. Again, trying to run from you are up to the front end of the boat, though, to catch a view of it. You're probably just seeing that sort of tail end of the ripple.
Okay. Cool.
And Snowmoon being down at the back, swinging the sword. Would Snowmoon, hearing anything like that, would you break your, I'll call it your meditation or your routine to go look, or will you just keep doing what you're doing?
No, he's like hyper-focused, like bordering on obsessed with this, so that's not gonna draw his attention away.
Yeah, and Furia, you sort of hear that in the background. That little, again, it sounds, the best way I can describe it is sort of like a blowhole that you'd expect, like as a whale breaches, to give it something in real world for it. But then the next hour or so seems to be peaceful. You don't really see anything else happening. After a little while, Fury starts to make her way downstairs. Snow Moon finishes his training. Sweet William, would you actually make your way downstairs, or would you just sort of drunkenly pass out on the deck?
I'll probably would pass out on the deck.
So,
Lydia would probably try to lift Sweet William without waking him and put him in the place where he called earlier.
Aww.
okay, Sweet William, go ahead and make a perception check with disadvantage to see whether or not you are unconscious to the world. Yeah, you easily managed to sort of cradle Sweet William up. Bitterjack, one of the last things you see before you get ready to go down is this massive furbolg very gently picking up your brother and just starting to carry him downstairs.
Oh, I love that. That's so sweet.
And then,
Into the exact one that he had earlier specified that was his, of course.
as you walk over and look back over and you look up at that top bunk that it was pointing at, you can see there's a rucksack currently rolled up in it that says Shaho. Oh, sorry, Seamus.
Seamus.
Oh man, I moved Seamus's rucksack to the one below it. Put William up top.
Alrighty then.
Seamus is not gonna like that.
Okay. Then you make your way over to your massive-sized bed. And you all find yourselves to unconsciousness. I'm assuming Jack would probably be among the first to wake as the sun creeps over the mountains in the distance and light breaches the sky. As it is the next day, the sun has come up, and you have the day before you as you can hear some, those of you downstairs start to hear some noises from the galley at the end. Again, it's not a real great eating where you're currently on shore and they haven't stocked up everything for the journey as of yet. Got them making some sort of like almost like an oats cereal type thing. Waiting for Captain Fabio has not done the shopping as of yet, as Captain hasn't given him the coin to do so for the supplies for the next journey.
Oh wait, there are 6 of us. 6. I'll give everyone like 5 gold from my shopping excursion earlier.
Okay. Then the day is yours. As you all sort of grab some food, start getting things taken care of. Conversations from last night flash in some of your minds who are sober enough to remember it about a post at Town Hall talking about a decent sum of gold for catching some big-ass fish.
Shall we go see the post then?
Yes, why not? Sounds like a good plan.
Alright. Follow me. Or you follow William or follow Jack. I don't know who to follow anymore.
Well, I don't know where this town hall meeting is, so
Alright, so we won't follow you then.
fair enough.
Yeah, let's go kill something for gold.
Oh, alright. That's okay.
Keep it down.
Good morning, William.
Ah. Right.
Alright, well, I'll ask for some directions and we'll go forth.
Okay.
The town hall?
So as you get off, and again, it's just crack of the morning.
Okay.
As the group of you start to come down, they grab the first fisherman coming down the dock. And he gives you real straightforward instructions, down to the end, head down the street and right into the center of town. Can't miss it.
Thank you, sir. And we'll
Just gives you a little
proceed.
nod, and again, you see getting his nets and ropes tossed onto the boat. Looks like he's getting ready to head out for the day. Takes you about 10 minutes for the group of you to get there.
Okay.
And as you walk up, the town hall is very sort of, plain. You got basically stone front building, wooden shingled roofs, hangs out over the front a little bit, two wooden pillars. Before even getting into the building, though, you can see this large, almost like a post board. This town hall, and right underneath it, large, half-torn piece of parchment sitting there. This bounty reward. Jokesser. 1,000 gold if brought in.
Does that mean dead or alive? Do we know that?
If brought in alive,
Oh, okay.
4,000.
Ooh.
Ooh, dang, man.
Underneath it, in very sort of scrawled, completely different handwriting.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody wrote, "Bring it back dead."
Oh.
Completely different handwriting, though. It looks like whoever posted this up there, somebody just, nope.
Okay.
Well, it appears someone may have lost someone they know to this creature.
Or a hand.
Yeah, or a hand. That's possible.
What on earth would they want it back alive for if it's just a monster doing bad things? What are
You know
they
how
going to
you
use
had
it
the
for?
fish the other day, and you kept poking it in the water, and you kept pulling it out?
Well, I doubt they want
True.
to observe how the creature breathes.
What
Oh,
did you
so
call
that's
that
what
an-
you were doing yesterday with the fish.
Oh yeah.
What did you call
I
it an
don't know.
experiment, though?
Well, I had all intention letting it go.
But it was an experiment.
Yeah.
Maybe they want to experiment on this large...
I doubt they want to free it. Or maybe they do, but if it kills people like you were saying those guys were talking about, then
It's worth more alive than dead. We should just remember that.
but why?
If it is,
We are not to wonder why.
what
Well,
what
I do
see
anyway.
in the water is too large to bring alive.
You saw it?
Maybe
I can create or destroy water.
something. Late. Out. It is.
And she holds her hands like.
Little halfling.
Large, more large than many
I-
us.
You
I
said you
point
saw
it-
this last night?
I saw something.
Or you saw this was last night that you saw something? Whatever it was?
Oui, yes. In the water out of the ship.
Larger than me, Bitter Jack.
Many of you.
So fishing poles aren't going to be any good, you're saying?
Fishing pole. No, not unless it is largest fishing pole in the old world.
We're looking at a tree. Put it on the head.
About this time,
Well-
Furia, somebody walks up behind you, puts their arm around your shoulder.
What?
Seeing you wonder why. Imagine if such a beast could be trained. You know,
Where would you keep it? It lives in the water.
you pen it in, can tow your ship, you can eat your enemies.
Have you ever tasted people? They don't taste very good.
Immediately the arm comes off you 3 steps back.
Yes, who are you?
Why have you eaten people?
Well, not eaten people, but tasted people, if you know what I mean.
Now Jack
Never
also
mind.
takes 3 steps back from Furia.
When she
Just sort of scratching the head, looking at the Fury like,
who are you?
Sweet William is intrigued and takes a step forward.
Well, and
So-
Snowman remembers the bear from yesterday, so he's
Yeah.
not really. He knows what Fury is talking about, so it's not a.
Yes, it is Lydia.
He's not
okay,
rattled. at all.
which is funny because even the DM had forgotten about the bear episode. So as a couple of you start to come forward and are asking for what's his name? What? My apologies. I am the town magister, but of course you come in seeking this. This bounty was posted by one of our, well, originally it was posted by a rather young, enterprising mage who wanted to study the creature. Thought if he could get it brought in, then could find someone of a more natural bend to things to bend the creature to its will. That really didn't, work out as nobody really seemed interested, and a few people we sent out, well, didn't come back.
Oh.
So now we are offering it both dead, as it's killed a few people, but if you think you're the ones who can bring it back alive, he is willing to pay the full price. But again, I am very sorry you asked for my name. My name is Firo. Firo Parsley Pond.
Parsley Pond?
Yes, don't... It seems when my family immigrated here that the fact that we purchased a farm that included a pond on it. Obviously you know what my family sells. Well, they sell. I tend to run things here now.
Gotcha.
Nothing happens without my say-so.
Oh, I see. Oh, I see. Well, pleasure to meet you. And I put out a big hand.
Reaches in very sort of gently and softly takes your hand.
Okay. Well, we can go investigate him, shall we?
Do have fun on your fishing trip. Please keep in mind that we hold no responsibility for loss of life, limb, or property should you partake in said activities.
All right, then.
I'll have to see if I can talk to this animal.
That's what I was thinking.
Oh,
Can you-
my dear, you have a natural bend.
Very. Very.
Perhaps you will have better luck. As I said, our young mage has not found anyone who would take the risk, given the number of people that have been, well, removed.
Well, I give no guarantee. Some people just don't want to be talked to.
Can you speak underwater?
And how, if you were large enough to swallow someone whole, would you deal with someone who is in your face talking at you?
Well, I'm not always this size.
This is also true.
Get another step back. It's people changes sizes.
I didn't say I ate people.
I'm sorry, you taste people. Such a confusing difference.
I am tired of this. Let us go.
Okay.
She just like walks away.
I
As
follow.
you hear as Firo turns around to going, she doesn't eat them, she walks up to random people licking them. I'll have to have the gods follow that one. I can't have an issue. As he starts running away, and you can hear him shouting out, yes, come over here.
Oh no. Alright, so I don't know if we're gonna be able to use the captain's boat, but we should be. What's your plan, Firia?
I don't have one. I've
Oh,
never
you said you
fished
were going-
before.
I thought you
say,
said you were
you
going
say
to
that,
talk to it.
Lydia, like there's another boat here that we could use, is there?
Perhaps we can rent one, but I thought you said you were going to talk to it, Firia.
I mean, if we get it close enough, but I have no plan other than trying to talk to it, if we can find it, even.
Do fish have feelings?
If you're asking a druid, all natural creatures have feelings.
I've spoken to many creatures, Lydia. Fish have
How,
at
how do
least
we-
thoughts. Some of
how
them
do we
are
know it is
colder
fish?
than others.
Oh, yes. How do we know it is a fish? Fish.
Yeah, we really don't know what it is at all.
Maybe we should have asked this magister what more, if anything,
Perhaps.
he knew about this creature.
Perhaps I should ask what it looks like.
He was.
Does the
I
poster
was,
have, like, any crude sketches, or is it just, like, a wanted poster?
No, it's a wanted poster and just basically has a giant question mark on it.
Okay.
Oh, great.
We should go to see Docs and talk to any of the people who have perhaps seen it or
That's a
been
good idea.
in the water,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and then we should find where it is, and we should shoot it with the very large arrow machines on the boat.
Ballistas, but I don't know if the captain would let us use them.
Well, if it brings in
would-
1,000 gold, she
I
might.
That's
I
true.
would think the captain would be interested in the goat.
Maybe it's worth trying to convince her.
Probably.
Well, let's go talk to people down at docks first.
Good idea.
And once we know more information, then we can go talk to Captain.
Good idea. Alright, to the docks we go.
Okay. As the group makes their way back down towards the docks, again, it's fairly straight shot back there. Go ahead. Who's taking point on trying to find people to talk to?
Not me.
It was Jack's idea.
He's gonna try.
I do not understand. I don't how I can speak. What?
She points at William.
What?
Be fine. Yes. I will do this for you, a favor.
Okay, so go ahead and make a survival check with advantages. The group of you is now sort of collectively hunting people to speak with on this. Like a school of crazy piranha. Okay, it takes a little bit of time. Is it you managed to catch one of the people from that table at the inn last night? Sort of big burly looking guy. and seems to just be wrapping stuff up on the dock as you're watching the boat just take off. As he turns around and sees you all approaching. Oh, hey, how you? Can I help you?
Am I talking? Am I doing the talking? Is that what's expected of me?
We push you to the front of the group.
He just sort of eyeballs the
I'm
group
not
of you all.
especially charismatic.
Neither
Gosh.
am I.
Top of the morning to you, fellows. I was wondering if you had any information on the wanted poster that was in the town square.
Oh, you're referring to Jokesar. That's...
Oi.
Well, most of us sailed around these parts long enough, seen something. Yes. Every once in a while you see what looks to be a giant bony shell breach the water. Comes up for a couple moments and then dives back down under.
What kind of shell is this? A turtle shell?
Totu?
A seashell?
No, not a seashell,
Crab
woman.
shell?
Looks like a turtle or a tortoise shell. Big green
I love
thing.
turtles. No, we're not killing the turtle, guys. Okay. Goodbye, sir. Goodbye.
Well,
Lydia?
how do you do?
Information first, decisions after.
Ah, I'm
Sir,
sorry, sir.
how do you find Jacques?
It tends to go after the slightly smaller ships, it seems. Not sure whether it's looking for the fish that's on them or... Well, but it always seems to know when somebody's going through. If you head out... I don't know any points, slightly east-southeast. Sail out that way for about quarter mile, then turn south. Around that southern peninsula down there. Seems to ball the folk down that way. Sometimes late at night, people around here say they see something, but I personally think it's hog swallowed, and I don't think it's going to come close enough to land where anybody could do some damage to it.
These boats with fish? Yes, we that
Yeah, usually.
Process.
I mean, that's
Yes.
most of what we got here. It's not like we got, prisoners of war and money coming flying through here. I mean, this is primarily a fishing village. I mean, I'm assuming if it's destroying the ships, there's probably some coins or something down in the wreckage. Good luck getting down to it, but...
Okay. Thank you, sir. So what do you guys think? If we go after this thing, we'd have to rent a boat. And go southeast. With a giant hole of fish.
I don't know if we can kill it with just a little tiny boat and us.
Oh right,
Jack
maybe we
said it
should
was
follow.
huge and that he thought we should use those ballista things.
Maybe we should have a. But.
is there I say and then she asks him for the word for longboat in common.
Long boat.
Longboat. Is there a longboat in the Captain Ursuline's vessel? Perhaps we sail out with the ship if the captain is agreeable, and take the longboat to how you say lure creature, and have the what was ballista
Ballista?
if necessary.
That's not a bad idea.
Yes, and if it is a turtle-like creature, the shell might prevent any, sword hacks from getting through.
Then how do we lure it back to the land? So we
Fish?
can just feed it fish?
Hmm.
Where does he want it alive at? We can't drag it
Hello.
into town square.
I don't know a lot about Art, but would Art be the type of gentleman? So I guess not gentleman. I guess Para had like neutral gendered him, right? Would they be the type of person to know a great deal about making some sort of a stick explosive device that we could try and get this turtle to eat?
I'll be honest, because I don't have Art's character sheet, I'm not 100% sure.
'Cause that's
But
the
would-
idea that Matt the player would have, but that is not the idea that Jack would come up with.
Well, what we'll do, because it is just after 11, as you guys are sort of coming together and starting to plan your potential assault on Jokaser, that's where we'll call an end to tonight's session.
Yay!
So we will pick up next week with our party, hopefully with Para back with us, feeling better, to see what the party has come up with, and to go try to sell the idea to the Siren and get use of her boat. So before we disappear, we need to decide a nat 20 for next week.
Ooh.
I should have removed that when I used it earlier, but
Did you use it?
yes, I did.
Oh, we didn't even
That's why I asked for perception checks at one point.
Oh, I didn't even know.
Okay. Oh no.
Something happened. Nobody knows.
Oh no.
That's not Artemis. That's 3 goblins in a suit. In a trench coat.
Yeah. Yeah. Great.
Although that would be, 3 times the height of Artemis, but hey. We shouldn't tease Repairo's not feeling
Right.
it. So what are we thinking for nat 20 for next time?
Furia for
yeah.
telling the person that she tasted human flesh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
that people don't actually taste that great.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny.
And we've actually
that
got a
was
vote
pretty
from
good.
Victoria in chat for that as well.
Oh, maybe.
So what we will do is we will toss that nat 20 over to Furia for next week.
Thanks, guys.
So we'll drop that. I'll stick that up in the corner here next to Furia. And then, as we will see, our party is considering taking a bounty to go meet up with Jokaser.
I used to own turtles, guys. This is gonna be traumatic.
Well, maybe it'll be a nice turtle.
Okay.
And
We
we
gotta
won't have
touch
to
it
shoot it with
first.
a harpoon.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm having a really Moby Dick type of vibe here.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, with that, folks, we will take a bow and we will be back next time. So don't forget, when getting drunk at a bar and slowly meandering your way out, but noticing people vanish and then randomly come back, you may want to insight check the bartender, and don't forget to add your proficiency bonus. See you next time, folks.
Good night.
Tabletop Legends tomorrow!
Come back for tabletop. See Matt do something to his party.
Oh, it's gonna be awful.
It's gonna be awful.
Oh, that's right. This is your first night back, isn't it?
Unless anything goes drastically wrong, this will be our first night back.
set
I
up.
apologize. I completely forgot that. Oh my god, if I'd remembered, I would have been shutting that out on that at the beginning.
That's
So,
all right.
yeah, if you're still here with us, don't forget, they're back tomorrow.
Yay!
See y'all later.